As Soviet pilots began engaging United Nations Air Force units in the MiG Alley over North Korea, Communist China was actively preparing its own Air Force PLAAF. Eager to test their skills, they were determined to challenge American pilots in the skies. While stationed in Liaoyang awaiting orders, the PLAAF 4th Aviation Division received equipment from a Soviet MiG-15 fighter division based in the area. The division underwent reconfiguration, training, and combat preparation. At the time, the 4th Division consisted of 2 aviation regiments, the 10th and 12th, each comprising 3 flying groups and 1 supply group. Each flying group operated 10 aircraft. The division had approximately 2,000 personnel, including 63 pilots, and was equipped with 60 MiG-15 jet fighters and 2 Yak-12 liaison aircraft. The division was commanded by Fang Ziyi, with Li Shiren serving as the political commissar. The 10th Aviation Regiment was led by Regiment Commander Ruan Jizhou and political commissar Su Lefu, while the 12th Aviation Regiment was commanded by Zhao Dehai and political commissar Bai Huimin. On December 21, the Chinese Air Force deployed the 28th Flying Group of the 10th Regiment from their base in Liaoyang to Langtu Airfield near Entong. Led by Division Commander Fang Ziyi, the unit comprised 10 MiG-15 pilots. They conducted its first combat mission on December 26. Over nearly a month, the pilots of the 28th Flying Group flew 7 combat missions but failed to encounter any UN aircraft. To gain more combat experience against U.S. aircraft, the PLAAF leadership ordered the 29th and 30th Flying Groups of the 10th Aviation Regiment to join the 28th Flying Group at Entong on January 17. The first engagement between the U.S. Air Force and the PLAAF occurred on January 21. In the morning, Fang Ziyi ordered 8 MiG-15s from the 28th Flying Group to join 8 Soviet jets from the 29th GIAP's 1st Squadron in protecting the Chongchan River Bridge in the Anju area. Due to technical issues, only 6 Chinese MiG-15s, led by Li Han, commander of the 28th Flying Group, managed to scramble from Langtu Airfield. The MiG-15s reportedly engaged a flight of US F-84 Thunderjets over the Anju area shortly after 10 o'clock. Li Han's MiG skidded too fast, disrupting the formation. Despite this, the Chinese claimed he managed to damage one of the F-84 Thunderjets during the engagement. However, U.S. Air Force records indicated no hit occurred, attributing it to the MiG's excessive speed and the fact that the U.S. pilot was executing a turn at the time. Additionally, the battle was later confirmed to have taken place over the Suncheon area rather than Anju. Meanwhile, U.S. Lieutenant Colonel William Bertram of the 27th Fighter Escort Wing managed to shoot down a Chinese MiG-15 piloted by Zhao Zikai. Shortly after, as First Lieutenant Grant W. Simpson's F-84 Thunderjet completed its bombing run, an additional flight of MiGs launched an attack. Simpson's jet was hit, reportedly by Soviet pilot Captain N.F. Bogodyrev or Senior Lieutenant Grechko, who were engaged alongside Chinese pilots. Witnesses observed Simpson's aircraft climb to 8,000 feet before rolling over and appearing to crash to the ground. He was killed in action. On the morning of January 23, at 8:05, 32 US F-84 Thunderjets launched an attack on targets near Sinuiju Airfield. Shortly afterward, 8 MiG-15s from the Chinese 10th Aviation Regiment, along with 20 MiG-15s from the Soviet 29th GIAP, took off to intercept. This led to a fierce air battle involving approximately 60 aircraft from both sides. However, the Chinese pilots involved in the battle arrived when it was already nearing its conclusion. U.S. pilots claimed 3 victories in the battle, with the Soviet Air Force confirming 1. The Soviet pilots believe that the PLAAF may have contributed to the other 2 downed MiGs, though it was likely only 1. They also believe the outcome highlighted the Chinese pilots' lack of combat experience. On January 29, at 14:40, 8 Chinese MiG-15s launched an attack on a formation of F-84 Thunderjets near Samsung NEE. Following the engagement, the PLAAF claimed that Li Han, the commander of the 28th Group, had shot down 1 US F-84E during the battle, while another was reportedly damaged. For decades, Li Han was celebrated in Chinese propaganda as the first communist Chinese pilot to shoot down a U.S. aircraft. However, records from the U.S. 5th Air Force indicate that no aircraft from either side was hit or shot down during this engagement. On February 2nd, the 10th Aviation Regiment returned to Liaoyang Air Base. The following day, all flying groups of the 12th Aviation Regiment were relocated to Entong to begin practical combat training. Afterward, there were few engagements between them and U.S. aircraft. On February 8th, during their first combat patrol, a Chinese MiG pilot lost control of his aircraft. The MiG entered an unrecoverable spin, ultimately crashing and killing the pilot. On February 10th, two MiGs from the PLAAF 12th Aviation Regiment collided during takeoff, while a third crashed during an attempted landing after running out of fuel reportedly. Due to their lack of experience, the 12th Aviation Regiment was ordered to return to its home base at Liaoyang on March 2nd. Throughout its combat training operations, the PLAAF 4th Air Division conducted 28 missions and 245 sorties in total. The Chinese Air Force claimed to have shot down one U.S. aircraft and damaged two others, though this was clearly inaccurate. They reported losing two MiG-15s in combat, with one pilot killed in action. The next sighting of Chinese MiGs over MiG Alley would not occur until several months later. Stay tuned for more episodes in our MiG Alley series. If you enjoyed the content, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment to help support us in creating more high-quality videos. Thanks for watching.